Hi everyone, myself Varun Agarwal. Now I am introducing the new category in the discussion. One more category I am starting today is a concept. So it is the C1, C2, C3. In that way we will move. So the C1 means the concept one, and today a one concept I'll be discussing the portfolio and the release mapping. So it is not distinguished with the our traditional approach of discussing the things in the agile transformation. But what I'll be doing when I'm discussing something in those basics, I will take the reference of these concepts. So I'm introducing these categories, and we will be discussing the one concept, another concept, day by day, the regularly. So today there is a work concept which is the portfolio and the release mapping. Now, what is this portfolio and what it has to do with the release cycles of the organization? So let's say we are using some project management tools, and it has certain portfolio items. The portfolio work items means the apex, the features, user stories, and tasks. So these are the high level terms, high level work items which we use. So if we try to write it, it is like first is epic, then these are divided into features. Features are divided into user stories, and user stories are divided into tasks. This is the basic hierarchy which I think most of us are using in classifying our works. So if we try to create a hierarchy, if we will try to create a pyramid, so it is like this epic is divided into multiple features. These features can be accomplished by doing the multiple user stories, and one user story again can be divided into multiple tasks. So this is the portfolio pyramid. Now if we talk about the release cycles, what are the release cycles in an organization? Let's say one organization is having a 1 month sprint. 1 month equal to one sprint, that is the length. And it decided to have a release after every 3 sprint. Let's say we are not saying that after every 3 sprint we should do the release. There are many organizations which are doing the deployment when a particular user story or particular work item is completed. If we can have the value as soon as possible, that is the best thing. So I'm just taking the example to making the relations. So what we are saying are 3 sprints for one major release, right? So what is happening here? Um, there are the releases, and these are the one month equal to one sprint, and 3 sprint is the one release. So what happens in a 1 year? How many releases will be there? 4 releases, because 3 sprints is the one release, and we will be having the 12 sprints in a year. So what happens? This is the release calendar of a year. This is R 1.1, R 1.2, R 1.3, and R 1.4. So these are the 4 releases this organization will have during the year. Now this R1, if we talk about this R1, what it contains, it will be divided into what actually it contains? The 3 sprints. S1, S2, S3. What we are saying? 3 sprint equal to one release. So if we see this, what it will contains? S4, S5, S6, and so on. So this is the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. The increments, the integrated increments will be part of this R1.1. Now if we talk about the one sprint, only the one sprint, what it contains? If we break this, so what is the formula? 1 month equal to one sprint, and these are the 30 days. So D1, D2, D3 up to D30. So this sprint will be divided by into the 30 days. Sprint 2 will be divided by the another 30 days. This is how the structure looks like. Now if we talk about the 1 day, if we just talk about this 1 day, how it will be divided. So let's say we decided to take 6 development hours. That organization decided to have the 6 development hours in a day. So what is this? H1, H2, and the H6. 6 development hours will be divided. Now this is the release map. This is the release hierarchy. This is the portfolio hierarchy. Now, if you are confused, what is Epic, what is feature, what is user story, what is task, and how it should be related, how it should be mapped with the release cycle, so that diagram can help you. These are related to each other with the horizontal line, right? And how these are related to any Epic is the highest level of requirement which will run through the multiple releases. A requirement, a very high level requirement that will run through on multiple releases. It cannot be completed in the one release. That means it will take more than 3 sprints to be completed. We can say that. What is feature? A feature that can be a requirement, a high level requirement divided, means that epic is divided into multiple features, and these features can be completed into the multiple sprint, but it cannot go beyond the one release because it is related to this box, this release. So feature are mapped to the releases. This feature A will go into our 1.1, feature B and C will go into the 1.2. That's how these are divided. User stories. User stories are the requirement that can be completed into the multiple days, that can take multiple days, but it should not go beyond the sprint because these days are part of this sprint only, right? So user stories cannot, should not go beyond the sprint, but it can take the multiple days. And if you break the user stories into the multiple tasks, so the ideal situation is task can take the multiple hours, but it should be divided as in such a way that it can be completed in a single day. So it should not take the multiple days. That's how that portfolio hierarchy and the release mapping are mapped. Again, that there are the different teams. They can define the different workflows, different sprint cycles, different release cycles, different portfolio hierarchy. But on a high level, how the project management tools work items can be related to the release mappings of a product. That is the structure. Epic is the highest level of the requirement. We need a, for example, we need a e-commerce website. That is a Epic, and it can take the multiple releases to be completed, or maybe to have the multiple features. Again, it will be divided into multiple features, like the payment gateway is a one feature, the user cards is a one feature. These are the features, and it can go beyond the sprint. But if we are working on a certain feature, that should be part of the one release cycle. Again, there will be an enhancement on those features, and these will be prioritized for the upcoming releases as well. User stories, those features will be divided into the user stories, and the most valuable requirements, most valuable user stories will be taken first, will be taken the earliest releases. And user stories should be divided such as it should not go beyond the sprint, but it can take the multiple days. and finally the task. User stories will be divided into the task in such a way it can take multiple hours, but it should not go beyond the days. That's how the things looks like. So this is also the one concept, portfolio and the release mapping. Will come up with the certain another concept. So till that time, thanks everyone.